Okay. Okay. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome. We are getting everything together on our end. Perfect. All right. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to the Ted and Hedy Orden and Family Friday Night Live. Tonight, in addition to our clergy, we are thrilled to invite Abby Yousefzadeh and her family and Elijah Tishby and his family celebrating their bat and bar mitzvahs this weekend. So Mazal Tov. So glad you're joining us. Everybody in the internet world, so glad you're joining us. And Shabbat Shalom. Sing along. This is our heart reaching out to yours through the computer screen, and it's a chance to connect. So we hope that you sing along with us. So we're going to begin our service today with Shalom Aleichem on page 73 in your Siddur Lev Shalem, the link to which can be found on the Sinai Temple website under the Schedule and Resources tab under Sidorim. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi Rotenberg. We welcome the angels in a week that we know we need angels to walk into our homes, to our communities. We're going to uplift our spirits with an uplifting tempo, speed, so please join with us. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharein, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharein, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Amlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu. Ay ay ay, Boachem l'Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Amlachim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni l'Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu, Baruchuni l'Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, Kadosh Baruch Hu, ay 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 tzedchem l'Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ya yelalalai, ya yelalalai, ya la 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 la, ya yelalalai, ya la la, ya la yelalalai, ya yelalalai, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya yelalalai, la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, ya yelalalai, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Yasher Koach, Rabbi Sherman. We'll invite you to turn to page 13. We'll join together for Shiru Ladonai. Shabbat Shalom to Jay and Nathan and Howard joining us in the chat on YouTube. Page 13. Ya, 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 ya. Ya, 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 ya.
Rabbi Rotenberg just saying, Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash. Sing a new song unto God. Not an old song, but a new song. And even though the prayer says, Shir Ladonai, Shir Chadash, sing a new song, we in fact sing old words. And that's what prayer is about, and that's what Kabbalat Shabbat is about. Every 7 days, we bring in the same day of Shabbat. But every week, it feels new. This next prayer, Lecha Dodi, we welcome the Shabbat bride just before we welcome the Shabbat angels. As I said before Shalom Aleichem, it's a week that we need angels. And I wrote this morning on my blog that we sent out in the Sinai community that several days ago, I stayed up very late and I watched the end proceedings of the Senate. And most people don't watch this part, but I guess rabbis do. I watched the final prayer that was said when all the proceedings were done. And irrespective of any political differences in this country, in this city, in this community, the prayer was beautiful. It was a prayer for our country, but really it is a prayer for Shabbat. It's a prayer for peace. It was recited by the Senate chaplain, Chaplain Barry Black, who stood at the Senate floor, mask on, and he said that the power of words is the difference of life and death. We learn later in the Torah, Bacharta B'chaim, that we should choose life. Every Shabbat, that is exactly what we do. We choose life. We choose to celebrate life. In essence, we choose to celebrate God, and we do that by celebrating each other. And of course, our own souls. On Shabbat, when we welcome the Shabbat bride in, we are said to have an extra soul in the Shemaya Terah. And our rabbis tell us that all week long we are concerned about our physical matters. We have physical and material concerns. But just for these 24 hours, we put those all away and we focus on our spiritual concerns. A prayer that I hope as we welcome in Shabbat, we welcome in those spiritual needs that we're all seeking so deeply. Lecha Dodi, page 23.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Ishmiyanu el hameyuchad Adonai echad v'shemo echad v'shemo tiferet v'lichila. Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki hi mekor ha'beracha berosh mi'edan nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. V'yikdash melech ir melucha u'mitzei mitoch ha'hafecha. Rav lach shevet b'emek habacha v'hu yachmol alayich imla. Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. We'll turn to the very last paragraph on page 25. I'll invite you to rise, and you can open a door and welcome Shabbat into your home. And as Rabbi Sherman said, we can also open our hearts and let that soul inside of us welcome Shabbat, and we welcome that part of ourselves as we sing on page 25. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'vetzohala, toch emunei am segula, boi kala, boi kala, lecha dodi lekra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi lekra kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. We'll turn to page 28 and we'll join together with the red arrow Tzadik Katamar. Tzadik Katamar Yifrach Ke'erez Balvanon Yizkeh Shetulim Beveit Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Omenun Beseba Besheni Beranani Lehagid Ki Yashar Adonai Zuri velo havlatavo. Shabbat Shalom to Yochev, to Steph, and to Pari, who have joined us in the chat. And we now invite our rabbinic intern, Kevin Lefkowitz, to share a few words of Torah.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Over the last few weeks, I've read lots of horrible, horrible things about eating ice cream and watching too much TV. And by the time January 1st came along, I knew I needed to make a firm New Year's resolution. It was difficult, but it's final, and I think it's the right thing for me. No more reading. That, my friends, is exactly how not to react to contradictory information. We've seen just how bad it can get when too many people react as I did. Rejecting information that we may not like, and then sometimes the people themselves. When people make comments that go against our preconceived notions, at best, it can deteriorate relationships, but at worst, just look at what's happened the last few days. And it's easy to point a finger and say, that's them and not us, that we don't do that. But that's just not the case. For example, I'm writing a paper on education and it's not important, but I recently came across an article that explains everything that I've been working towards may not be the case. And I had two choices. I could pretend the article didn't exist, that I didn't see it, and ignore it, or I can adjust my thesis. I really wanted to ignore that article, and if I saw the author of that article, we're about to say the Baruch Hu, the call to prayer. And the funny thing about Baruch Hu is we can only say it in a community. We can only say it if we have 10 people around us, a minyan. It's not something we can do by ourselves. So let's use this Baruch Hu as an opportunity to think about what community means, how communities have diversity of thought and differences of approach, and that in a community that will inherently, inevitably be some form of disagreement or some form of contradiction to what we believe. And tonight, let's focus on the ways that we can find common ground with one another and our shared humanity with those around us. And maybe, just maybe, thinking about this Baruch Hu and the people in our community, we can learn to react maturely to information that we may not like. So please turn to page 39a as Rabbi Rotenberg leads us with the Baruch Hu.
Cantorial intern David Childs will continue on page 39a.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Uma'avir yom u'mevi layla, u'mavdil ben yom u'ben layla. Adonai tzevaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv aravim. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael.
Page 40.
Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nehge yomam v'layla, ve'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
It is now our honor to invite Abby Youssefzadeh, our bat mitzvah this weekend, to lead us in the Shema in V'ahavta, and then Lema'an at the end of the third paragraph. Welcome, Abby.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha ubechol nafshecha bechol meodecha v'hayud avdarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha udibarta bam beshitecha bebeitecha ubeleftecha baderech ubeshoftecha v'chumecha ושרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתרתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך.
We'll continue on our own through the end of page 42, at which point Abby will lead us in Lama'an, the second half of the third paragraph of the Shema. We'll take a few moments for private prayer, and then Abby, I'll cue you for Lama'an. Okay, Lama'an Tizkaru, the bottom of page 42. We invite Abby back to lead us.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Abby. Mazel tov to the Yosef Sadeh family. We'll invite our cantorial intern David Childs to continue on page 43a.
Adonai Elohechem, amen.
Elijah.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם.
We continue with Micha Mocha on page 44. We'll invite Rabbi Sherman to lead us.
Sorry about that. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא נורא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא נורא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא, עושה פלא, עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך, וקיים לפני משה זה עלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי ודל נא את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני קהל ישראל.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. A day or two before our Ted and Hedy Orden and Family Friday Night Live service, Rabbi Rotenberg sends us our outline and shares with us which prayer we're going to introduce. And so by luck, if you will, I was placed in between Micha Mocha and the Hashkivenu prayer. And I thought over the last day or two, how interesting it is to transition from that prayer, from Micha Mocha to Hashkivenu. Because if you think of Micha Mocha, this is the prayer where the children of Israel have just left the angst of slavery. This is the first time in which they are starting to get a semblance of what freedom may feel like, what freedom may look like. And they start to sing the song of freedom. And at the same time, I have to believe, and many commentators point to this, that they're still in a slave mentality, that they're not yet freed from the ideas of Egypt, that they're still tied, and if you will, still kind of thrust down from the ideas of which Egypt represents. And then we get the Hashkivenu, in which it's our prayer for peace, in which we ask God to bestow upon us the ability to wake up in the morning with life and with the ability to breathe, to go to sleep at night and to rise up once again. And I think they're just so far apart from each other. One prayer in which we're leaving a sense of slavery, and another prayer in which we are infused with peace and freedom. And I was trying to think to myself, how do you bring those two together? How do you get from Micha Mocha to Hashkivenu? How do you feel that sense of prayer transition within yourself? And I don't think it's so easy. And as I was thinking about that, I happened to stumble across a really beautiful piece of commentary by Reb Mimi Feigelson. She was the spiritual mentor at the Ziegler School of Rabbinic Studies, and she's the spiritual mentor at the Schechter Institute in Jerusalem. And this is what she writes. She says, "We are often in a rush to get out of uncomfortable situations. We want to solve problems as quickly as we can so that we need not dwell on them. But it appears that bracketing our stay in Mitzrayim," remember another word for Egypt is Mitzrayim, "with the word Mitzrayim functions as an invitation to actually sit in this space." Mitzrayim, this is me, translates to a narrow space. It seems that the only way out of this constricted state of being is by going through it, not by circumventing it. We can't overcome limitations that we've encountered unless we are willing to own our part in the situation, to be able to name and face our pain, to be able to claim our suffering, to be able to hold our loss. It's only then when we see ourselves in the light of our darkness that we can truly leave it behind as we walk towards new horizons. We are being asked to dwell in our pain and discomfort so that we will indeed be able to move forward. Without this process, it would appear that we will never be free from that which enslaves us. We would carry it with us, creating new Mitzrayims, new Egypts wherever we journey next. We won't be able to truly leave it behind us. We need to be able to name the emotion so that we can find the remedy to heal it. And so tonight, I just ask you to close your eyes wherever you are and to think about the Egypt or the Mitzrayim that you're experiencing right now. Whatever it may be, illness or loss, fear, angst, and understand, just like our ancestors struggled to transition from slavery to freedom, and just as we struggle the transition from the feelings of frustration and anger and sadness and loss to that of peace and celebration, we have to go through Mitzrayim together in order to enter the land of peace. And so you'll hold on to your Mitzrayim with the prayer that peace will come as we sing Hashkivenu together. Sometimes it's our shared pain that leads us to the blessings of a brighter tomorrow. Hashkivenu is found on page 45.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu makeinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu makeinu lechayim. Ushmor tziteinu uvoeinu lechayim ushalom me'ata ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu makeinu lechayim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu makeinu lechayim. Shalom, 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 shalom. Ushmor tzeitenu voenu l'chaim u'shalom et haviyad olam. Baruch atah Adonai, shomer hamo Yisrael le'ad.
We'll invite our cantorial intern David Childs to lead us in Vishamru on page 46. Please rise.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
Chatzi Kaddish, page 46.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה קירותי והמליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמא, ואמרו Amen.
The silent Amidah for the evening service is on page 47. We'll begin with the words Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Agi Tehilatecha. God, open up my lips so that my mouth may declare your glory. Page 47. Anana na 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 Adonai. Anana na 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 Sfatai Tiftach. Anana na 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 Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. We'll continue on our own with personal prayer between page 47 and page 52. We'll take a few moments for private prayer and reflection. Page 47. We end our Amidah with a prayer for peace. The words Oseh Shalom, page 52. Shalom bimroma, Uryase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, Uryase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, Uryase shalom aleinu. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu le'avo Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu le'avo Yisrael. Ose shalom b'romav, Ose shalom aleinu. Ose shalom b'romav, Ose shalom aleinu. Ose shalom b'romav, Ose shalom aleinu. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'alko Yisrael. Yase shalom, yase shalom, shalom aleinu ve'alko Yisrael. We are now honored to have Rabbi Wolpe share a few words of Torah. Mhm. All right, Rabbi Wolpe is coming to his computer on his way to share a few words, and I will stall for just a bit longer. Okay, we'll wait a moment for Rabbi Wolpe to come back. In the meantime, we will invite Abby to lead us in Aleinu. We invite Abby to come to turn on her video. And we'll invite everybody to rise. We'll turn to page 56 for Aleinu.
Do I go?
Yes.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה לעושה ראשית, שלא עשנו כגוי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם בגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Thank you so much, Abby. We'll continue on the bottom of 57. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Rabbi Wolpe, I'm sorry that
I kept trying and it wouldn't work because I was disabled.
I'm so sorry. Welcome.
I have now been enabled by Rabbi Rotenberg, and I got to tell you, it feels so good. You validated me.
Always, anytime I can.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I just thought that I would make a quick comment on Shabbat and on the experience that we are having together. Because, as you know, the experience that we're having together is different from that which happened in any previous generation. And the way that we're praying is different from that in any previous generation. And yet, it is a remarkable thing that what we just heard were words that have been said for thousands of years. And I think in some ways, what we are seeing is a perfect example of what the Jewish tradition is supposed to embody, which is antiquity and ancient wisdom and the legacy of the past and modernity, the readiness to meet challenges of the future. I think that it is no mistake. I know that I'm a little bit chauvinistic about this, but it is no mistake that so many of the people who were involved in developing and disseminating the vaccines that will, God willing, save our lives were Jews. Because learning and study and understanding, that was always a part of the Jewish tradition. Maimonides, in the 12th century, said, accept the truth from whatever source it comes. You realize what an extraordinary statement that was to make in the Middle Ages, when truth was only supposed to be your own tradition? But the Jewish tradition has always sought to understand God's world more deeply. And it has been a combination of study and reverence. This week we read about Moshe, who is passing the burning bush. And it says that Moses stopped and he looked at the sight. And when God saw that Moses stopped, he called out to him, Moses, Moses. Moses noticed the wonders of the world. In fact, according to one rabbinic tradition, that bush had been alight since the beginning of time, but nobody looked. Nobody noticed. Moses paid attention to the world. It's been a very difficult week. But the world is still full of wonders. And we are still filled with the desire and the curiosity to understand more and to know more. We do it through prayer, through study, through reflection, and through each other. Through each other. So I hope that as Rabbi Rotenberg has enabled me, others will enable you this week to be seen, to speak, to learn, to understand, to recognize that the matters of the day, while they are important, they are not forever. And that the world is filled with wonders, just as Moses saw. And we need only open our eyes and pay attention. I wish you a week of understanding, of study, of learning, of joy, and most of all, a week of peace. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much, Rabbi Wolpe. We'll take a moment to remember those who are no longer with us. We are grateful to God for the gift of their lives and for the cherished memories which endure. For the week of the 22nd of Tevet through the 2nd of Shvat, we recall the yortzites of Rebecca Abramowitz, Irving Applebaum, Roni Asiya, Agajon Asil, Javaher Bar, Sam Baker, John Bauer, Bernice Bedrock, Renee Benry, Sylvia Ben-Shoshan, Blanche Berman, Eskandor Balor, Amos Burston, Shane Gold Berwick, Ben-Por Ben Aliyahu Chauli, Lynn Cohen, Charles Cohen, Selma Deeks, Sam Dyfick, Carol Diamond, Elias Jamugli, Helen Edelstein, Melvin Eisen, Edward Joseph Esfandi, Paula Falkenstein, Albert Fenster, Aaron Fish, William Friedland, Bernard Gelson, Solomon Gold, Ami Goldman, Maurice Goldsmith, Melvin Goldstein, Alan Grushkow, Edith Halbert, Emmanuel Hoffman, Jack Horwitz, Marilyn Sue Hutner, Samuel Cashel, Sigmund Kazer, Saeed Kamrava, William Kaplan, Cyrus Kodadadi, Oscar Kleckner, Michael Isaac Cormendi, Louis Kornblau, Rita Frida Kornblau, Daniel Levinson, Sam Levine, Gladys Lewin, Esther Lieber, Emma Lisagor, Harry Lowen, Sonia Marshall, Amir Marion, Nathan Meisler, Ralph Monkarsh, Ibrahim Nate Davoud, Jesse Overbeck, Jonathan Acco, Milton Pepper, Alice Peters, Jamie Peer, Arthur Riker, Mildred Reif, Baruch Regenhaupt, Charlotte Patricia Rose, Rika Rubenstein, David Rubenstein, Toran Sasunian, Morris Saul, Edwin Sayers, Herman Schneier, Rosalind Schultz, Aaron Shore, Max Schwartz, Molly Siegel, Lawrence Slayton, Ann Stengel, Irene Swaya de Romano, Aaron Totness, Leon Trunk, Eva Turbo, Saul Wiener, Lena Ware, Henry Weinberg, Bernard Weintraub, Sydney Weston, Harry Wilson, Toran Yagubzadeh, Sylvia Yaschik, Edwin Yellen, Fanny Yellen. We also mark the recent deaths, the recent passing of Dr. Habibullah Jacob Korsandi, father of Gila Ulian, Gila Ilulian, Sohela Makani, Sam Korsandi, and Genus Narafshan, grandfather of Kia, Kathy, Mark, Ruben, Jordan, Ethan, Ryan, Dylan, Gabriella, Lauren, Alexa, and Jonah, great-grandfather of Ezra, Leora, Elizabeth, and Adam. We mark the passing of Anne Lowes, wife of Donald Lowes, Don, mother of Matthew Lowes and Emily Kreshek, grandmother of Katie and Janice, Max and Jackson, sister of Ellen Seedlow. We mark the passing of Amparo Balk, mother of Gina Satnick, grandmother of Adrian, Fabiana, and Juliana. We mark the passing of Parvana Asil, spouse of Agajan Asil, mother of Leela Shafai, Rosie Asil Nurian, Alan Asil, Kevin Asil, and Yeshua Shalom Asil, grandmother of Shireen Neda, Sharuna, Juliet, Sahar, Sanam, Sabrina, Jonathan, Alexa, Elisa, Jasmine, Raphael, Aaron, and Daniel, great-grandmother of Henry, Theodore, Rami, Ellie, Farah, and Ezra. And we mark the passing of Barbara Pergamet, mother of Jill Lehrer, Adam Pergamet, and Asher Pergamet. On our chat, I see Pari, you're saying Kaddish for Agdas Bat Chaim. Zichronam Livracha, may their memories be a blessing. I'll invite everybody in a period of mourning to rise as we say the Mourner's Kaddish together, page 58. Yit Gadal V'yit Kardash Shmei Rabbah Be'alma Divrach Hirutei V'yamlich Malchutei B'chayechon V'yom Echon V'chayei Decho Beit Yisrael Ba'gala U'vizman Kariv V'imru Amen Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam U'lamei Omaya Yitzbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramah V'yitnaseh Yitadar, Yitalek, Yitalal, Shemedikucha, Brichu, Laela, Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata, Dush V'chata, V'nechamata, Da'amiran Be'alma, V'imru Amen. Yehe Shlama, Rabbah, Min Shmaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. We pray to God for healing to all those with broken hearts, and let us say Amen. And Yocheb, I see you're saying Kaddish for Clyde Ribeiro Zichron Livracha. Okay, everybody, Shabbat Shalom. Just a few announcements for our Atid community, our young adults at Sinai Temple and beyond. January 13th, this coming Wednesday, gaining a different perspective on 2020. You can join therapist Chanel Halimi for a workshop on 2020. It's meant to be an interactive, social, healing workshop with therapist Chanel Halimi. There's been a lot of young adults who have reached out with serious challenges, from feeling lonely, from feeling kind of lost during this time. So Atid is proud to try and address those issues this coming Wednesday, January 13th at 7 p.m. I also am excited to mention a 4-part relationships course starting at the end of this month. Every fourth Tuesday, you can join me if you're in our Atid community. That's ages 21 to 39. You can join me as we look at the Tanakh and some of the most colorful texts about what it means to be in a relationship. We'll start at the end of this month. You can register through our newsletter. You can also email atid@sinaitemple.org for more information. And of course, next Monday, we have our Martin Luther King Day special. Rabbi Sherman, are you by your camera? I'd love if you are, if you can give us some more details about that. But you can go to sign it. Oh, great. Would you like to say a little bit about
We're
what's
at
happening on the 18th?
usually we have our Unity Shabbat, but we are doing Unity Martin Luther King Day, so everybody can celebrate their Shabbat around the country, around the world, and then join us on Martin Luther King Day, Monday, January 18th, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I know there's other people watching around the country. I'm streaming that SinaiTemple.org or right here on the YouTube station. It's going to be a wonderful celebration of unity and diversity with Pastor John Paul Foster, Faithful Central Bible Church, Sinai Temple Clergy, produced by Craig Taubman. It's really a day that we don't want to miss. So please join us next Monday at 4 p.m. And we'll see you there.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, not this coming Monday, but the 18th on
Yes.
Martin Luther King Day proper. And I believe that's Martin Luther King Day proper. And okay, it is now our pleasure. I know Elijah and the Tishbe family, you have been waiting for this whole service, and we have been waiting for you to lead us in Kiddush and Motzi to close out our service as we bring in Shabbat together. So Elijah, I'll invite you to turn on your video. Elijah, our bar mitzvah, one of our 3 b'nai mitzvah for this weekend, who's going to lead us in Kiddush and Motzi. Let's see here. And video's coming on.
There we go.
Yes, hello. Hello, Tishbe family. Shabbat Shalom. All right. Elijah, you ready?
Yeah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam porei peri hagafen.
Amen. Yes, take a sip, please. Elijah will lead us in Hamotzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. Okay, don't forget to eat a piece of the challah now that you said hamotzi. I'm sure it's delicious. Let's see that challah.
We had it baked by a rabbi's wife and was dropped off today.
Oh, excellent.
Yes,
A little extra, Jewish flavor.
it is.
Wonderful. Looks delicious. Okay, I'll invite everyone to turn on their cameras. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to end. Rabbi Sherman is going to lead us in a song for peace. Ojivo.
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you to cantorial intern David Child, to rabbinic intern Kevin Lefkowitz, Rabbi Sherman, Rabbi Guzik, the Yosef Today family, the Tishby family, Mazel Tov, Abby and Elijah. I hope it's a great weekend. We'll see you all